Alrighty, guys. You know how City Hall is always too busy to address anything? I mean, the people in that building right there are always too busy to address anything and follow the law. But we're going to get we have a White County deputy on the way, in or out. Just called White County Sheriff's Department. We are going to see that the law is obeyed today. Our chief of police is likely to go to jail. Our mayor is likely to go to jail. And this is a misdemeanor charge as listed by Arkansas state statute. And what's funny, guys, is the statutes that they're not even aware of yet, that we're going to have a ball with come that city council meeting. My friends who know me know I'm a digger. I dig information. I dig information about anything that I so choose. If it interests me, or if you piss me off with something, you lie to me, I will find out the truth. And right here today, we have city employees. If any of them leave the building while I'm sitting here, I'm going to consider that fleeing because they've committed a crime and they're trying to avoid prosecution. So, let's play it out. They're already put on notice that this was going to happen. They already locked me up on a bogus bullshit charge. You can tell the chief has an obvious disdain for me, guys, because back in 1991, I did have a little felony conviction. But that's okay. That piece of shit right there is fixing to have federal felony convictions along with his piece of shit mayor. And we can see how everything goes from there. Wait till these ignorant sumbitches find out how they're violating all the laws regarding city council meetings. Oh, we're going to have a field day. Oh, we're going to have a field day. How's it going? Oh! You know, the corrupt here at City Hall, guys, they don't realize that little window shade issue right there, I don't know if y'all can see it on camera, that shade's now up. You see that? That shade is now up. So help me, if that's him on the radio with White County out there, helping to collaborate to cover up his criminal conspiracy, we're going to have a field day with this. I mean, literally, we're going to have a field day with this. Everybody can see that window's now open. Even the door shade is now open. You know, like you said, Keith, instead of doing the right thing, they're going to double down and triple down on doing the wrong thing. And guys, while you're looking at that McRae police unit right there, please note that it is unmarked. If you're a good officer in a little town like this, why do you need to drive around and primarily use what is an unmarked car? Why do you have to sneak up on your citizens? What's the purpose of that? I mean, really, what's the purpose of that? Huh? Dakota Burke's in there knows he's screwed like a pooch. The conspiracy here to violate my constitutional rights is quite clear. And there's a conspiracy to do it. It ain't just one of them. The mayor's leading everything. See, here we got a marked car. Really good dark window tint in there, guys. See, I can put my phone right up against it and we scan right through it. Huh. I'll be screenshotting that later. Ricky Wooten. South Grand Avenue, McRae, Arkansas. A whole list of charges on that document there. Looks like 1808 something. A whole list of stuff there. You'd think documentation like that should be put up so it cannot be publicly viewed, at least if it has any kind of get another shot of that from this side where we can get it right side up. Yeah, I'll get the phone or camera away from the window. See, I can't scan through that film. Let me put that phone right against it. I can even scan through the really dark film. There's a secret for you guys. I don't see any drugs or illegal narcotics in there. Over here on our other police cruiser. Right here. See what happens when I put that phone up against that, guys? That's what happens when you have a really good camera on your phone. Really good camera on your phone. And I'll step away from that shot dark. That tent's pretty dark. Hey, Joe, don't go nowhere. The cop's going to be here in a minute for you. Don't go nowhere. That's fleeing. You don't need to be leaving after you just broke the law, sir.
Who's leaving?
I'm just saying, Joel out there is leaving.
Who?
Joel, the mayor, he's leaving.
Do with anything?
He's the one that told you not to fulfill my FOIA request, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Come on, let's talk about it, Burks.
Wait for the deputies. He'll be here in a minute.
Okay, let's get him here. You're going to jail. You know it's wrong to let a perpetrator flee a crime, right? Someone who has violated the law is fleeing a crime. They're fleeing a crime scene. Are you going to flee the crime scene too? Fleeing the scene of a crime is not right. You just allowed it.
Why are you screaming?
I'm not screaming. I don't know why you'd say I was screaming. Let me guess, Dakota, that's part of your false narrative? When I speak loud enough that you can hear me, you're going to say I'm screaming because that's part of your false narrative? Right?
You are screaming. If I
I'm not
told you inside that
screaming.
building, you were screaming.
Okay, Dakota.
That's a better voice.
My hearing's very bad. If I'm further away from you, I compensate for that because my hearing is bad, so I treat people the same way. That does not mean I'm screaming at you. That means I'm trying to handle business. I'm wondering why Joel is fleeing the scene of a crime.
There's no crime been committed.
There is a crime here. Do you not realize what you did is a violation of Arkansas state statute, punishable with 5 to 10 days in jail?
There's no crime being committed.
There is a crime that has been committed, Dakota. Just because you choose to ignore it like you do, when Charles used the backhoe to spread his
I'm
gravel,
acknowledging that you are not getting any FOIA reports.
that right there is proof
There's
that
a
you are
reasoning-
breaking the
there is
law.
a reasoning behind it that we can enforce. You haven't paid. Why don't you read the FOIA handbook, man?
Okay,
I can get you a copy.
I've been all in it, all in it.
I can send you the link to it and everything.
I've got all that, Dakota.
Okay, then. Then
You know, that information is not that hard to access, but yet your mayor nor you will look up the appropriate laws when I ask you to do exactly that, like when you evicted me from City Hall and I had not committed a crime under threat of arrest. Are you so ignorant to the law as you do not understand that that is a violation of the law?
So you think you could just come in here and scream? Yeah.
I wasn't screaming, I wasn't yelling.
Harass the employees just over and over and over.
Do you realize
You think that's okay?
when I'm up here taking care of business, that is not harassment. When they are
Asking-
failing to
Talking about stuff that has nothing to pertain to anything is not taking care of business.
I'm never up here not talking
If you
about
have a-
things that don't pertain about things. Never, ever, ever am I up here like that.
Jack, you've already been told once why you can't get your FOIA request. You continue to come back. You come back and you come back and you come
Do
back.
you not realize?
in regards to the same thing that you already know the answer.
Are you so ignorant
So-
as to the law that you don't realize that I'm establishing on video here a pattern of corruption involving you, everybody in City
And
Hall,
that's your opinion.
the mayor?
That's your opinion.
Well, we're going to let the world see it, Dakota, and
That's
let
fine.
everybody see it.
That's fine. I don't. There's
Okay?
nothing to say.
You want to talk bad about
So-
me because I had a felony conviction in 1991. What were those
Nobody's
charges?
talking about it. Nobody's talking.
Well, you
bad
want to talk
you.
about me like I'm shit
What
because I have a
told
felony
you-
conviction.
What I told you was to run for mayor. Since there's just a big problem, you want to make a difference.
I'm
run
making
for
a
mayor.
difference. I'm doing everything
So-
I can to make a
And
difference.
then I realized
But
you
see,
can't.
you want me.
So what do you? I mean, do you?
So you think-
have options here?
Oh, I
okay?
do have
Continue
options.
on with your options. You continue saying you're going to go federal litigation. What?
It's all-
do whatever you
it's
want to do,
filed.
Jack. It's
Okay, I'm just waiting on the
quit telling
paperwork
us
to be
and just do
returned.
it. Okay.
Joel wanted
So-
me to take him to court, right?
Well,
That's Joel sitting there and screamed at me, "Take me to court, Jack." That's what I'm doing.
Because he's getting tired of you coming up here and talking about the same thing over
But,
and over,
See,
over and over.
You won't enforce
So,
the law.
There's
That's
there's
the
no
problem,
law
Dakota.
being committed.
There
there's
isn't.
no crime being
Why
committed.
don't you look up failure to provide FOIA records?
Yes.
Look it up.
Now, there is to fail to provide FOIA records
Yep.
requests, okay? But there's also other statutes in there that apply to certain things.
So tell me the statute.
So-
Give me the statute number. You've lied to
I
me
will
so
get you-
much.
will
I don't
get
believe
I
you,
will
Dakota.
Get you a copy of it showing where we can make you pay for something
Okay.
that's not an exorbitant amount, okay? And if you fail to pay, you don't get nothing else. And we should have made you pay for that in advance, which we can.
Really?
Did you know that?
Really?
Did you know that we could make you, if you wanted that, we could make you basically put down a deposit before we even started the request?
No, you cannot.
Absolutely.
No, you cannot. That
We
is
can
your
make
opinion.
you pay in advance.
That is
if
your
it's going to be
opinion.
an amount.
That is your opinion.
Okay.
Can I ask why your body cam isn't on those, considering this is an interaction between us?
Well, it's not on. So
Why? Why is it not on? Isn't it your policy to have that
We-
body cam on anytime there's an interaction between
is
you and the
this like
public?
a professional deal here?
It is to me.
Okay, so
You're
this
in
is
your
a-
official duty.
Let me log it with dispatch. No.
You know, the other day when you transported me to jail on that bullshit warrant, I asked you If
you need anything, let me know.
Did you call a deputy?
I call White County.
Okay, you want the deputy to come out?
I want a deputy here. I've already told them that.
No, you did advise the deputy.
Okay, well, he's been in office 1236.
All right.
But the other day when you transported me to jail, you know, on that bogus charge, I asked you if you had a video in there, right? And audio and the whole 9 yards. And you said that it had video, no audio. Did you maintain your body cam footage during that interaction?
No, I don't have to.
You don't have to. Well, that's mighty nice, Dakota, because the shit you said.
You know, it's not against the law to not have a body camera.
When you are in your professional capacity in
against
any interaction with the public, you're required to have that body cam
That's a policy,
activated.
not a law.
So you are guilty of violating policy.
I have violated the policy before. I have. I'm human.
Okay.
Just like anybody else.
Would you like to discuss all the policies that you have violated here at McRae while you've been chief?
No, I haven't really violated any policies here.
You have not.
I have forgot to turn my body camera on. I have forgot my body camera here. I have forgot that it's been dead. I mean, it happens.
It's your responsibility to make
You're
sure that's
exactly
active,
You're
right?
exactly right.
Of course.
And I get better at it every day.
Good.
Just like right now, I totally forgot.
Right.
I'm thinking about it. I'm talking to you like a normal human being. So.
But when you're talking to me like a normal human being, you're going to make sure it's on. That's my point, Dakota. But when you're not, when you're showing your ass, you're not going to make sure it's on. Like the other day when you evicted me from City Hall.
was on.
While I was
It was
here.
on.
It was on?
Yeah.
Good.
There's cameras in there. Hell, you were videoing.
Yep. We're going to get all that.
I don't care.
Good.
You just can't be in there causing a scene.
I ain't
That's
trying
all
to
it
cause
is.
a scene, asking
When
them
they're
to
trying to answer phones and you're in there
asking
screaming and
them
hollering
to do
and
their
trying to talk to them. They have nothing to do with you, okay, Jack? They
asking
don't want
them
nothing
to do their job is not me harassing a city employee. You understand that, right?
But when you continue to do the same thing over and over after you receive an answer, that it turns into harassment.
When they fail to do their duty, I have
You've
every
already-
right.
Okay, well, if they're failing to do their duty, you don't come back and continue to harass them. You go somewhere else, like you said. Go higher up.
We're taking the higher
So,
up. That's
go-
part of what I need all this information for.
Well, there's no information for you to get.
Okay, you keep
So-
stating that, but yet here we are, and I'm waiting on a FOIA request that was stamped by your city clerk
It was stamped saying
Monday.
that we received your
Yes,
FOIA
it was.
request.
That is an official document.
That doesn't mean that we are going to provide it to you.
You have 72 hours according to Arkansas state law.
That doesn't
72 hours. You can beat around the bush all that you want. You can try to justify
I'm not
it. You
saying-
can try to do whatever
I'm
you
not
want
saying
for
that's
your blatant
incorrect.
disregard of the law.
I'm not saying that's incorrect.
Exactly.
But
That is
what
correct.
What is correct is you haven't paid for what you FOIA requested.
Okay.
So until you pay for what you already tried the FOIA request, which we prepared, we fulfilled that request.
Yep.
Until you pay for that, you can't get nothing else, and you're
You
not going to.
you do realize
So-
that let me ask you a question. You do realize that Miss Deb is on film telling someone else up here for a FOIA request that she can charge whatever she wants to. Do you realize that that is on film and documented?
And she may or may not have said that.
No, you're saying may or may not when I'm telling you it is documented
I'm just
on
saying-
film.
I'm saying she may or may have not said that. I'm not saying you're correct. I'm not saying you're.
I know I'm
okay?
correct.
But we all learn, just like everybody.
Yep.
She's not. She wasn't up to date on the FOIA request.
So
I
she was violating
So
the law.
So what do? We open up a handbook. We read the FOIA request, the Freedom of Information Act. We read it and we read it. And we try to figure out
Right.
what needs to be done. What are our options? What can and can we not do?
Mm-hmm.
So. It's
Let me ask you a question, okay?
What's up?
Let's say you stop somebody out here on the highway and they're all strung out and they got a big old 8-ball in their pocket and they're just tweaked like fucking Chuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they tell you, well, Dakota, I didn't know it was illegal for me to be tweaked like fucking Chuck. I didn't know it was illegal for me to have an 8-ball in my pocket. How far is that going to fly with you?
That's obvious.
That's obvious.
That's
This law is obvious as well.
It's not. It's not obvious to them because they don't deal with that. They
Because-
haven't dealt with that
because
much.
they refuse
haven't been
to
trained on that.
Because
okay?
they refuse to comply with Arkansas regulations, and that's why I'm here today is because they refuse to comply with the laws that are on the books, Dakota. And you can make that out to make me an ass all you want.
We all learn, man. That's
Well,
all I gotta say.
you know the problem? Everybody else up here that might make a little mistake, okay? They don't get the opportunity to learn. You don't cut them no slack.
do.
Oh, you do?
I cut a lot of slack.
You do. Matter of fact, I know about that. I know about the people you're letting drive around town here in city on a driving permit without a licensed driver in the car. I know about that. I know when you arrested Loretta right up here on North Grand, right? And then you hauled her down to her mom's house to let her get rid of personal property and anything that she could have had.
And I'm absolutely allowed to do that.
You're allowed to take a felon, which is being arrested on a felony warrant, just so we're clear, to a private residence to let them get rid of. To let them get.
She lived there.
Okay. To let them get rid of personal property or
because the
anything
jail's not gonna take it,
incriminating
and I'm not going to hold on to it.
or anything
So,
incriminating that could be
There was
in
nothing
there.
incriminating. She was searched before she got in the back of my police car.
Okay.
So there was nothing. There was a
So
whole
you-
bunch of jewelry. There was a bag.
So you
That stuff's
you
not
se-
going to
wait
the
whoa
jail.
whoa whoa whoa. So
Okay.
you searched a female detainee
You're exactly right.
without a female
You're
officer
exactly
present.
right.
Okay.
You're exactly right.
Okay.
So,
But see, Dakota, you have a pattern of bad behavior here.
okay. That's your opinion.
It is my opinion due to what I know
You're-
around town here.
That-
Okay, I'm
what you think you know.
beginning. What I'm really beginning to question is all your activity around these children.
Oh, wow. Wow, Jack. That's...
I'm just saying. I'm
You know,
questioning.
you really
it.
got to... Are you really that crazy?
I'm just questioning
I'm
it,
asking,
Dakota.
are you crazy?
No,
Because you done lost your damn mind.
did I?
You absolutely have.
Okay.
You have absolutely. To
Bec-
even
okay.
think like that,
Because-
that is disgusting.
Because of what I've seen up here,
see
it
where
makes
your mind's
it
at,
makes me
Jack.
go, what in the hell
I
is
see
he
where your
doing around
mind's
all
at,
them
Jack.
kids all the time?
Not on one, I'm tenfold. That is absolutely disgusting.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way because it would be disgusting to me if anything happened to any of those kids.
Well, I wouldn't even be thinking about like that.
Well, good. That's good to know. That's good to
I'm
know.
glad to know you are.
No, I'm just wondering because kids don't come out and hang out with me a whole lot.
Well, I'd hope not.
Right.
I'd hope not. I'd hope not.
You know?
What you and Loretta always got going on, I'd hope not.
Well, me and Loretta have our little spats, but it ain't never anything physical or violent. Okay, we have our little spats like any couple, but I don't get physical because
I think
number
smoking
one,
a little bit of that weed probably got you going crazy.
no,
I think so.
no.
I think so, Jack.
It is amazing, Dakota. Someone can stand here and have a conversation with you like this, and you have to revert back to that.
What? I mean, I'm just speaking the obvious.
Well,
You know,
I
just-
do. I
just like you
have
have opinions,
stated.
I have opinions.
I have stated to
I
everybody.
can't have opinions.
Once in a while, I take a couple hits because I have medical issues that you're not aware
Well,
of.
that's what I'm saying. You might be getting hold of some bad stuff thinking like that.
No. I ain't doing none of these synthetic chemicals. I ain't on a bunch of fucking opioids strung out on pills like so much of our population around here. All that doctor-approved medication, where they're poisoning themselves with
I'm not a
synthetic
doctor,
chemicals.
so I wouldn't know.
You don't know shit about a whole lot, Dakota.
I'm not a doctor, so I wouldn't.
Right. But like I told you, you're great at following orders. Yep.
Whatever you think, Jack.
It's obvious. It is
Whatever
obvious.
You think, Jack.
How old are you?
27 years old.
27, Chief of Police.
27 years
How long
old.
you been out of the academy?
About 6 years. About,
How long you been
about
chief
five,
here?
5 or so.
How long you been chief here?
Almost 2.
Almost 2.
Absolutely.
And you told me the other day you didn't have anything in your jacket down here,
I don't.
right? That I would find? Nothing at all.
I don't have anything in there.
Okay. That's funny, Dakota. You don't have any retraining because of issues, nothing like that.
No, we always stay up to date on training.
Okay.
I do it here all the time.
Apparently you don't. But we're going to test it at City Hall come April the 15th. We're going to test it to the max. Okay? You know that I reserve all my civil rights without reservation, without prejudice, correct? Do you
I don't know that, but
Do you understand? I've told you on multiple
whatever you
occasions.
say, I mean,
Do you understand what that entails?
no, enlighten me.
Huh?
Enlighten me.
No, I don't think I am. Because you enjoy being ignorant so much.
Okay, that's fine.
You know, Dakota, do you not realize that the fucking affidavit you guys pushed through the other day is such a crock of shit, it's ridiculous.
And you're entitled to your own opinion.
Well, it's according to what is written on the
Well, I'm not-
affidavit.
this isn't court.
You're
We don't have
right.
court here, okay? So wait till your court date. Come to court. Explain to the judge.
Me and the judge, matter of fact, we'll have a long talk about the prosecutor because there's a clear-cut case of prosecutorial misconduct here.
Okay.
Me and this prosecutor, I don't know if he's elaborated on it to you, but me and him have a little bit of personal history.
Okay.
Okay, which means
Why should that matter?
because he
The law
should
is the law.
because
If you
he
ain't done
should
nothing wrong, then you ain't got
because
nothing to worry
he
about.
should have recused himself.
If you haven't done nothing wrong, why are you worried about
I'm not worried about it, but it's an obvious conflict. Okay,
But-
and we're gonna have a field day with it because
I don't know what kind of relationship y'all have.
well, we've had a contentious relationship in the past where I've proven him wrong on multiple fronts, and he's about as butt-ass ignorant as you are.
Okay.
Okay. Matter of fact,
That's what you
the
think.
decision on that case comes down over here April 30th, the final delayed verdict on that decision,
Okay.
which opens Ball Knob up to the same kind of action that you guys are facing
Okay.
because your arrest had absolutely nothing to do with my federal case,
Okay.
and it will not delay my federal case.
Okay.
It ain't gonna
Okay,
happen.
That's fine. I mean, whatever you want to do, man.
I'm doing what I want to do. I do my very best to follow the law, unlike yourself.
Okay.
You can't even make the mayor stop running stop signs around town, or you can't catch him. Well, look here, guys. Another fine member of McRae City Council coming in. That's one of your other people responsible for the corruption up here, by the way, which will be named in a federal lawsuit.
You're entitled to your opinion.
Yep. And it'll all play out in court. And see, that's what's going to bite you in your ass, Dakota.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have an ETA on that deputy? Can we get one?
Now, subject to request of ETA.
Less than 10 minutes out.
She said less than 10 minutes out.
Excellent. Excellent. Oh. You know, Dakota, you think you could figure out the little theft ring that's going on right down there on the corner?
Which one?
Which one? That's a good response from you.
Which one?
Yeah. I don't know, maybe the one where they're using their neighbor's driveway to access their own yard.
I don't know anything about it. That's between them neighbors and whoever.
Yep.
That's private property.
Oh. Yeah, that fellow right there, guys, will also be named in federal litigation. He's already named, actually. I went and filed it the other day. He's going to have a hell of a time, the way he showed his ass at City Hall. Yeah, that's one of the fellows that bum rushed me up there at City Hall. You ask why there wasn't any charges filed. I don't know. You tell me, why can't a city council member be charged?
They can be.
Well, then why wasn't the city council member charged for threatening me on video?
I don't know anything about it. You file an affidavit?
You don't know anything about it. Oh my God.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, because the officers that were here before you, with the exception of Danny quit because Joel and fucking retard Charles and his running stop sign issues, and Danny apparently couldn't write a ticket and make it stick here with the mayor covering Charles's ass. But the rest of your police officers here had directly left because of me.
Okay.
Okay, because they're not willing to violate my constitutional rights at the request of a fucking retard that calls himself a mayor.
That's your opinion. That's false, but
Okay. I've talked to several of them.
they didn't leave because of you.
Okay. You're right. They left because of Joel. Oh, Oh, that's hilarious, right? Hey, actually, guys, for the record, he is right. They didn't leave because of me. Okay, they really didn't. You guys know me. I'm an asshole about telling the truth all the time. So let's be clear on this. Chief Dakota Burks actually knocked one out of the fucking park. He was right there. They did not leave because of Jack. They left because of the mayor and here's a piece of shit, and they wasn't going to follow his orders.
You crack me up, Jack.
Oh, I'm hilarious, dude. I love to have fun. And see, that's what the thing about me.
You call this fun?
I love to laugh and have fun. I can make anything fun, brother. When you're intelligent, you can do that. When you got the IQ of a crayon-eating, window-licking retard on the short bus, you find it hard to find humor.
16, I'm good.
And see, it's funny because I hate the government. Okay, I absolutely hate the government. Okay, I understand that you guys are a criminal racketeering system. But if I have to, I will use their regulations to whoop your ass in court. It is what it is. I'm allowed to do that, right? Yep. Okay, here we go. And I'll laugh at you while I'm doing it, Dakota. I find humor in that.
That's fine.
Okay, I really do. I find humor in that. I find so much humor in that.
There's your deputy.
Good deal. Let's go and get some folks arrested down here. See if we let's see if we can get an officer to actually do his job according to Arkansas state law and the Constitution. Arkansas state statute. Yes, sir. We got 2 deputies. Unit 519. Well, if he's got a unit number on the front.
514. You get it all on video. You're on video with you. Mr. Moore, how are
Jack Moore doing
you?
well.
Sergeant Jerry, how can I help you today?
We have a case where the city
Okay.
is failing to comply with Arkansas FOIA laws. They have failed to do this now for over 2 years.
Okay.
Monday, I come up and I presented the mayor with a FOIA request, which he stamped. By Arkansas state law, they have 72 hours to fulfill that request, which was yesterday.
Okay.
I told them that I would be up here today to get my FOIA request.
Okay.
Chief Burks, the mayor, the city staff are failing to provide me with my legally required records as required under Arkansas FOIA law.
Okay.
I would like to have him placed under arrest for a misdemeanor.
Well, Mr. Moore, I cannot do that, and I'll explain why. That has to be an affidavit process, but let me talk to him in there and let me see what we can do.
If you don't mind, can we do all this out here where we can all talk about it? Because I would prefer for this to be right out here in the open so everybody can see.
Dakota, what can we do here?
Mr. Moore's come up to do a FOIA request, I guess, a couple days ago.
Okay.
He's been instructed by the prosecutor.
Jack Moore.
He cannot get anything
Deputy
until
James.
he's
Good to meet
paid
you,
for
sir.
the last FOIA request that he did.
Okay.
And with that being said, it continues to come up, and we do sign saying that we received his FOIA request, but we are not going to fulfill it until he pays for what he FOIA requested.
I got you.
There has been an itemization sheet provided to him, and also I told him with anything going further, if he does pay for his FOIA request, we will be getting paid
Well,
in
So
advance.
right now he's tied up by the prosecutor saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So your complaint's going to have to go to the prosecuting attorney.
Well, he just stated that it was on hold until I paid for what I had asked
Yes,
for
as soon as
previously,
you pay
correct?
that, you
I
can-
believe that's what he said.
Okay, let's go in and let's pay $150, and I'm going to expect. I'm going to expect my. I'm going to hold on, Dakota. Hold on. Before we go in, when I pay you this $150, I'm not only going to expect the records that I was previously due.
Well, we haven't
Whoa!
worked on any of your records due to the fact that these haven't been paid for. We don't have to.
Yes, you
So
do.
if you pay for
Sir,
this, give us 3 days.
Arkansas FOIA law in Arkansas takes precedent over everything else that's happening here within City Hall, just like it does with their sheriff's department. I just got a bunch of information from you guys due to my arrest, which was bogus on a warrant which was not filed. Okay. And that's
I don't know anything
I
about
know
that.
you don't, sir, but they have filed retaliatory charges against me because I'm exercising.
Who's that?
Well, Charles Bryant filled out an affidavit.
Oh, so it's an affidavit.
It was almost a year old. I believe he said it was April the 5th, if memory serves me correct, when that was submitted. Oh, April 4th, you said?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. They come down and arrested me the other morning when I was preparing to take my mother to her doctor's appointment. I had already told Miss Deb and all the office personnel, everybody up here knew that I was going to be here today to get this paperwork.
Okay.
Everybody knew that. They issued a warrant for my arrest while I'm changing a flat to get my mother to her doctor's appointment, which they knew that she had. I've never had any problems here at the city, never had no problems at all.
Okay.
They run down as fast as they could with that warrant, which had not even been filed according to the paperwork which Dakota gave me. And as he stated earlier, giving me false records is a felony.
Okay.
Okay? What he provided to me was not a filed warrant. Now, he run down and arrested me and kept me from taking my mother to her doctor's appointment. Now, that appointment has been delayed until next March. My mother only
Till
lives...
next March?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Okay.
That's how far the backlog is on this, okay? They knew I was taking my mother to her doctor's appointment. They knew if I had a warrant, I had absolutely no problem coming up here just like I am with you guys, and I would resolve that issue.
Hang on, let's wait till the train goes by. So
Okay,
I want
that's
you to
fine.
get everything that you need, okay?
Okay,
So let's wait till the train goes by because he's going to
I understand, I know.
Maybe he must be running slow. There he is.
Ain't no hurry.
He's not in a hurry. All right, I think he's good with that. I understand what you're saying, Mr. Moore. We're not.
You're not involved in that. I've got you here for the
we're
FOIA
not
request.
involved in the city politics of their rules that the city hall puts in. We'll be glad to document it for you.
Okay,
Not a problem.
excellent.
But if they are, as Chief Burks is saying, if you're being held up by the fees with the prosecutor, that's where you're going to have to take
Well,
that as a
sir,
substitute.
the
But
process...
we'll document this for you. I don't have a problem doing
What
that.
I need you to also document as part of this investigation is the fact that this office, these city personnel, this chief, are doing that at the prosecutor's direction.
Yeah, that's what it's going to
Now,
say.
hold on. The prosecutor for this city, just so we are clear, he is not the city attorney for this city. He is not Barrett Rogers, which is the city attorney.
City attorney is
Barrett Rogers.
Barrett Rogers, prosecutor John Ray.
Who?
John Ray.
Don Ray.
Now-
Where's Mr. Ray out of? Is he out of the prosecutor's office up here?
No, he's not out of the White County prosecutor's office.
He's not.
No. The White County prosecutor's office, which I talked to the other day on the phone about this very issue, because they have stated so many times that the prosecutor's office told them they would not fill my request until I paid for that. I called the White County prosecuting attorney's office. I asked them if they would make such a request or such a demand of a citizen or city. They stated that they would not. You can call the White County prosecutor's office
Well,
right now for
I'm not gonna
yourself
call
and
them.
verify that.
I'm going to make sure that
But-
this gentleman
Yeah.
is either working for him or not. If
Now-
he works for somebody else, then we'll document it.
Mr. Rainey, which he said is his prosecuting attorney, okay? Me and him have a conflict of interest because I'm also involved in another civil rights case out of Bald Knob that the final decision comes down on April the 30th up here in Searcy. Okay? We have a lot of bad blood between us. He does not like me because I exercise my constitutional rights, but regardless, he has absolutely no right to act as in the city attorney capacity as a prosecutor. You understand
Mr.
that?
Moore, I understand what you're saying, but I have no control over that.
I know.
But we'll document everything you need documented. That's not a problem.
And what I need documented is the fact that the city the prosecutor for this city is part of a conspiracy, which he is not even legally allowed to do, to withhold public records from me.
I will put that into the statement for your request.
Thank you, sir.
No, that's not a problem.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you need me to hang out here for a little while?
If you want to get your
Well,
pay your
let
fees
me
to get that,
ask.
we can do that. But I'm going to need to talk to or get some names for everybody so we can put all this down. If you want to run in and
Yeah, I
who do
need
we need? Who do we need in
everybody.
there?
Everybody. They're all involved.
Okay, if you want to give me all those names, we'll do that, including whoever the prosecutor is for the city.
As well
We'll get all that.
as the city council members.
Why
Because
would you need the
this
city council?
also involves the city council. I'm not going to go into the legal details about that right now, but their information needs
I'll
to
tell
be
you what
listed
we'll
here.
do Is we will just note the city council. We can probably put their names in there.
Yes, that's all I need.
Okay, we can do something like that.
Okay.
All right. So if he wants to get that, you got Mr. Moore's
Yeah.
information. We need to get that from you, just so we can put
Of
that
course,
in the report.
of course.
And then if you want to take care of your whatever that you got to do
Well,
here for your fees,
One
to do
one thing,
all-
I'm fixing to take care of that.
Okay.
But upon me paying their fee of $150, I also expect my FOIA request, which
you
was
recently
on
put in.
file,
Okay.
which the mayor
Again,
stamped.
that's up to them. That's
But
not
if
up
they,
to me.
if they do not comply with that request as of right now, that is actually a violation of Arkansas state statute.
We're not.
It
gonna
is a
arrest-
misdemeanor.
We're not going to arrest anybody on it.
Why? Why
Because
will
it's
you?
probably going to have to go through the prosecuting attorney. I'll
But-
check if you want me to.
But you are
I don't
wi-
mind checking, but I'm going to pretty much sure they're going to say we're not going to be able to do that.
Let me make this clear though.
You might
If we do that, you are going to fail to arrest someone on a crime that was committed in your
I
presence.
understand what you're saying. Okay, let me make sure we can check on that and see what we can do, and I'll get you an answer. But I'm that's above my pay.
Oh, I understand, sir. I understand.
All right. So
But-
hang
and-
on, and I'll make a phone call
When-
on that end, and we'll go from there. I'm probably gonna have to call the prosecutor up.
Of course.
And we'll go from there.
Of
okay?
course, sir.
All right.
Thank you for doing due
You're
diligence.
welcome. Let the Deputy James is going to get your information.
Doing
If
well.
you want to get all the names,
You have your ID.
everybody
or
will
any-
do
I
any way
do,
I
but
can-
I'm going to just give you my name.
That's
he'll
fine.
give you everything.
That's
Jack.
fine. That's
I'm-
fine.
I'm-
However you want to do it, sir.
Jack, here, hold on a minute. Let me pause this while I give you all my personal
Okay,
information.
that's fine.